Hi, this is Dan here, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to play a little bit like Bernard Edwards. Now, he was an absolute genius and master, so if we can get even a little bit close to him, then we're going to be doing well. So I'm going to be showing you the gear, some tone, style, just general vibe. So we'll start with the gear. He would have been playing something similar to this. This is a 1978 MusicMan StingRay, a pre-Ernie Ball one. And we've got two-band EQ. I've got the bass pretty much full up, not quite, and just a little bit of treble there. I've read that he used the original strings that came with the bass, and that's probably flat wounds. He didn't know what they were when asked. So they were either flat wounds or quite old played in stainless steel strings like these. These are Elite's players. Or by the time he was recording with Chic in the late 70s, he would have been using either flats or old round wounds. And you get, with his playing style, with the bass up a little bit, or quite a lot, the treble up a tiny bit. It's just a very punchy, precise sound. If you don't have a spare, few grand for a vintage MusicMan, there are other options, such as, G&L 2000, I think it is. L2000 is a bass that's got the MusicMan StingRay style humbucker, and that really is the key to this. The OLP used to make basses, licensed, that were a little bit like this, and now I think it's Sterling Sub make these ones. So even if you didn't like the sound of the stock pickup, you could replace it with like an Aguilar or a Nordstrand. There are pickup companies that make era specific sounds, so you could go down that route if you like, but the key really is, I think anyway, either flats or old-ish round wounds. Two-band EQ I think helps, bit of bass, bit of treble, and that MusicMan style pickup. This has got a maple neck, and it just has a natural punchy funky tone. Let's move on to the playing style, because Bernard used two main techniques, which was fingerstyle and chucking. Listen to any Bernard Edwards style bass line. It's really like... I was improvising around a sort of My Forbidden Lover style line in the intro, and I'll use that in this lesson. I'll show you later on some of the style behind his playing, and I'll show you how you can make up your own bass lines. But when you listen to his playing, it's really, really on the money, it's in the pocket, and it's precise. Now you get that sound by being in complete control of the technique and your inner clock and your timing. So let's start with the technique side of things. It's quite aggressive fingerstyle playing. We've got a lot of muting that's going on with the fretting hand, because very, very clean. So here I'm just playing an open string E and then a D and an E, 5th fret, 7th fret of the A string. As you can see here, any fingers that I'm not using to fret, I'm just laying them across the strings and therefore muting them as well. Also, that controls the note length, and that's absolutely huge in this style of playing. So we're getting the short notes by releasing pressure off the fretting hand. So play a D on the 5th fret. Note sustains. If you come off, you get very short notes, and even in Le Freak. Very, very short notes. So you're coming off. And as I'm coming off here, so I'm playing an A on the 5th fret of the E string, there's none of that going on. Clean. So I'm coming off with my little finger and just holding all the rest of the strings. That's absolutely key to this style, sounding a little bit like Bernard, is to have complete control over the bass. A lot of what he played was funk bass using 16th notes. So that's the other thing to do, is to learn to tap your foot, nod your head, and subdivide each beat into 16ths. So these are the beats, like 1. I forgot to say. So the My Forbidden Lover song that I was roughly, doing the intro around is 107 beats per minute. Okay, so you can download that drum beat and practice. But if you're going roughly that speed, it's like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to be able to subdivide the beats. There are 4/16ths in each beat. Go 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... Just to practice, I'm doing an A, 5th fret of the E string, a minor 7th and an octave, that's the G and the A on the 5th and the 7th fret of the D, and then just an E on the 7th fret of the A string, that's the 5th. Know the intervals, right? So root, minor 7th, octave, 5th. Tapping my foot, da 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 da, right? Being really, really precise. I'm not, or, you know, this is Bernard. Bernard didn't speed up, he didn't slow down, it's just absolutely bang in the pocket. Now, one way you can do this is you can either play along to that drum beat, or another thing to do, which is really cool, is to set a metronome to beats 2 and 4. That simulates the backbeat. You know, if you've got a drum beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Beats 2 and 4 is the snare drum, that's the backbeat. So if you do that, and then you play a groove to that, and do that every day, you can really work on that inner clock, work on subdividing the 16ths. I'll show you that now. So that's the metronome on beats 2 and 4, and I'm just improvising around this sort of idea, which I'll show you later in the lesson. So we've got the muting, we've got the real control over the note lengths, and we've got a very solid understanding of 16th notes. And if you combine those two things with the tone of the bass, you're starting to get that tone, that vibe, that Bernard Edwards style. I think he's just such an amazing bass player to listen to, because we'll move on to that style. If you listen to nearly all of his bass lines, they're actually very highly crafted. There really isn't that much in the way of fills going on. There's not too much improvisation. He really has just sat down and crafted the parts. And if you look at something like, I don't know, Le Freak. That is the verse part. It just goes round and round and round. Just does that. My Forbidden Lover. Something like that. And it's just really simple notes. E, minor 7th to octave. Yeah, that kind of thing where you've just got really simple notes, but played, as I said before, really on the money, in the pocket. And then we go to an A. Same thing, we got the root and the minor 7th and the same thing up the octave. And he's just playing it with such aggression and attitude. Not playing too hard, but his playing style was quite aggressive, so you can dig in a little bit here. He used mostly fingerstyle, not too many ghost notes, hammer-ons and pull-offs, but they certainly are there. You know, hammer-on, it's where you hammer on after plucking a note. Pull-off is the opposite. Ghost notes. That was what he used most of the time. Then he used chucking, which is almost looking like you've got a plectrum between your fingers, but you haven't. It's thumb and first finger like this. I've got a couple of videos I'll link to. I think he even got a little bit of thumb there. You go downstroke, you're hitting the fingernail, and then upstroke, you've got the fleshy part. And that's the same idea where you've got a lot of 16th notes. Dance, 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 another famous one. 16th notes again, okay? And you'll find that funk bass playing is littered with 16th notes. So it goes back to that thing of having a real understanding of those rhythms by working on your inner clock. Okay, here's how you can bring all that together and practice this yourself. So either get a metronome on beats 2 and 4, or a drum beat a bit like the one I was playing along to. You can download that one. And we're just going to do something in the rough style of My Forbidden Love. I'm going to make this up, but we're in the key of E minor. And that's E minor pentatonic. Uses a lot of pentatonic stuff. So I'm just going E, G, A, B, all on the E string. Open string, 3rd, 5th, 7th fret. And then 5th to 7th fret on the A and the D. Probably won't use the G string actually even. So first chord E minor. Just using E's and a D there, minor 7th, and just a little groove over that. muting, being really precise with the alternate plucking, and the note length being very controlled there. Next chord, we've got an A minor, and it's a very similar thing going on here. We've got an A and a G, that's the root, and a minor seventh. So you've just got A and G either on the E string or up the octave. Stick a little open E there. And there's that underlying minor pentatonic scale. A lot of the time, he would just play the roots, octaves, maybe minor sevenths, and just play around with some pentatonic stuff like this. A little bit busy there, but I'm keeping one thing the same and moving to different roots. And that's really what he did. He created hooks. I think he's the ultimate pop funk bass player, because any bass line that he ever played, your ear is immediately drawn to that. Partly that's because of the tone, partly because it was mixed high up because it just sounded brilliant. And it's just the way he plays and the note choice. That's the thing. So you can practice that by using E minor pentatonic. You stick around on the E chord, E minor chord. Go to the A. Know these intervals. You've got the root, 2 frets across, 2 strings higher, you've got the octave. 2 frets lower than that, you've got the minor seventh. And a fifth is just 2 frets across from the root and 1 string higher. And very, very simple chord tones here. You just make up bass lines doing this. If you go to the B, which is on the 7th fret of the E string, of course, do learn Bernard Edwards bass lines, Le Freak, Forbidden Lover, Everybody Dance, 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 all that kind of thing. And listen with a critical ear. When you hear it, you'll hear what I'm saying. We've got these hooked parts that are well, I don't know if I'm going to say they're simple, because they're not, because he was a very dexterous player. So you're going to have to work on your technique as you play this, That's quite fast. Mostly alternate plucking. There's a little bit of raking. See there? You've got to aim for absolute consistency in tone and in timing. And that's really why he was such an amazing player, is because his time feel and his pocket was just exemplary, along with that note choice. I'm going to be doing similar videos with other bass players, but what I urge you to do is whatever bass line you listen to, Bernard Edwards or any other bass player, listen with a critical ear. Listen out for these things. You'll hear them. You'll hear that every bass line that you love, there's a reason behind it. And probably it's you love the tone of whatever the bass it is. Don't forget there's, could be an amp as well. Strings, you love that, but you also love the note choice and the way the bass player is playing. So if all these things you can learn from, you can start to add some of them into your playing. Not all at once, but just every day that you practice. If you want to play like Bernard Edwards, put your metronome on 2 and 4, play along to drum beats, and work on your inner clock 16th notes. Work on that every day. You have to. Keep your lines simple, learn lots of Bernard Edwards bass lines and learn why he's doing what he's doing. And you can really elevate your bass playing into completely different levels if you approach bass playing in this way. Thanks very much for watching. Please like the video, share and subscribe. Any questions, let me know. I'll see you next time.